Testing out Call of Duty Mobile on my new iPad Air 4, the 2020 model with the A14 Bionic chip. Graphical settings here. So this is settings I run at now. I initially was playing on this preset with anti-aliasing. However, when I switched over to Battle Royale, the frame rate is horrible. So you need to set it for max for Battle Royale to run smooth, but then it drops the graphics quality down to high, and you lose the option for anti-aliasing, which is fine because it actually looks really good even in this mode compared to even my Galaxy Tab S7 and S6 on Android. So I'll show you real quick. Go to I/64, so iPad Air 4, A14 Bionic. Got a Chrome real quick, so that's the one I got. I did get the blue one, that's the 64 gig. And I want to show you some screenshots I took here. Alright, so, oops, toggle that back. Alright, clear. So this is when you have the graphics set to very high and you have anti-aliasing on. So it's a PNG file. And you can see on the power line, it's got anti-aliasing blending in the jaggies in the distance. However, you look at the gun's got a little bit of anti-aliasing, and you can see on the 1913 rail on the handguard. Next screenshot is when we set it to max frame rate and we lose anti-aliasing. There's barely any difference. So this is anti-aliasing on very high. This is high, max frame rate. Very high, high, max frame rate. You can barely tell. If you look at the power lines, you're losing the anti-aliasing in the distance, but it's really hard to tell because the resolution's so high. You look at the optic, it's a little bit more jagged along the frame edges, and on the 1913 rail on the handguard, you can see some jagged edges right there. Alright, so I'll show you another screenshot. This is my Galaxy Tab S7. You can kind of tell because I have the game plugin overlay for Galaxy S devices, so I can show you the frame rate and CPU, GPU info, and it's also in the proper widescreen format compared to the full screen format on iPad. But the Tab S7 and S6, they obviously run this game in a much lower resolution because this is way more pixelated and it's really obvious on your actual weapon in your hand. So even though it runs at 60, this is way more pixelated. And also the Android versions, obviously the graphics options don't match because this gun, the texture on the gun is lower resolution also. So you can tell, look at the delta ring on the gun, and also the stickers, the decal stickers I have on the gun. You can't even tell what they are on my Tab S7, but this is my Tab S6, or sorry, this is the iPad Air. And you can actually tell what those stickers are, and the overall texture on the gun is better. So Galaxy Tab S7, and this is the iPad Air. So the graphics options don't match. So this is the graphics options on the Tab S7. Just took a screenshot of it. So this is what I run: very high and max, ragdolls and anti-aliasing. But that is what it looks like. And you can see here, you can't even really tell. The power line's not a consistent image. It looks like it's got some, just from the font here on the bot, it looks like it's got some like horizontal compression. So I think it might be stretching the image wider to actually save some performance on there. But this right here is a screenshot on max graphics, just on the high settings on the iPad. Another one, high settings, max graphics. But anyway, let's go back to the game. Oh, that's the guy's image that in a match I played with earlier. So go back to the game here. Let's try to get in a 10 versus 10 match. And I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller. I also tested it out with the Xbox Elite Series 2, and it worked just fine as well. Because I wanted to see if it, on the Xbox Elite Series 2, you could program presets into it for the paddles, and I wanted to see if it would recognize those presets on the iPad, and it does. So it must save the settings inside the controller itself. But I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller right now.
Domination. Capture the objectives. We're capturing C. We captured C. Enemy taking Alpha. Enemy has
Enemy
Alpha.
contact.
Capturing Bravo. Heads up. Enemy UAV spotted. Captured B. Taking the lead. Ready to jam enemy UAV. Our UAV is up. Good work. Sentry gun ready for deployment. Losing B.
Oh, come on, let me put it there.
Lost Bravo.
Reloading! Cover me!
We're capturing A. Stealth chopper awaiting orders.
There's
So Charlie, friendly stealth chopper inbound. Captured Alpha. Heads up team. Enemy UAV spotted. Hostile sentry gun in your AO. Hostile hunter-killer drone inbound. We're capturing B. We lost C. Losing A. We captured Bravo. We lost Alpha. Friendly sentry gun deployed. Enemy sentry
Flashbang!
gun has been destroyed. Capturing C.
Reloading!
Keep on them. We're winning this one. We're capturing Alpha. We captured Charlie. Losing Bravo. We captured A. Losing C. Be advised.
Contact with enemy!
Missile inbound. Be advised.
Oh my god.
UAV online. Enemy UAV
No
spotted.
skill.
Enemy SAM detected. We lost Charlie.
Reloading.
Destroy enemy SAM turret. Losing Alpha.
I'm hurt!
Losing B. Capturing C.
Flash out!
Lost B. UAV online. Heads up team. Enemy UAV spotted. UAV online.
Bastard.
Nice work. Get ready for the next round. Objective almost complete. Keep it up. Capture the objectives.
Why am I stuck? What's going on
Enemy
here?
taking C. Enemy has Charlie. Heads up. Enemy UAV spotted. We're capturing
weird.
A. We've taken the lead.
The controller is
Captured Alpha.
disconnected.
Enemy taking B.
I think I glitched the
Friendly
game.
VTOL inbound. Enemy has Bravo.
Alright, well, since I can't use my controller anymore, yeah, it's not really good at all.
Hostile sentry gun in your AO.
Let's try that. Does that reset my controller? A little bit of lag in it now.
Be advised, hostile sentry gun spotted. Enemy SAM detected. Be advised, hostile hunter-killer drone inbound. Heads up team, enemy UAV spotted. Capture C. Lost A. UAV online. UAV online. Tied for lead. Captured C. Our UAV has been destroyed. Our UAV has been destroyed. We lost the lead. Destroy enemy SAM turret. Hostile sentry gun in your AO. Stealth chopper inbound.
Target's
Losing
inside!
Charlie. Enemy UAV spotted. We're capturing Alpha.
Changing mag!
We captured A. We lost C.
I got shot! Changing
Heads
mag!
up team. Enemy UAV spotted. Be gun spotted. Enemy SAM detected. Enemy UAV spotted. Ready to deploy.
Watch out! Grenade!
Sentry gun ready to deploy. Stealth chopper has been destroyed. It's on team. Enemy UAV spotted. Counter UAV up. Blind. Destroy enemy SAM turret. Sentry gun deployed. Losing Alpha. Being dominated. Take those positions. Lost Alpha. We're capturing C. Hostile hunter-killer drone inbound. We captured Charlie. Hostile predator missile inbound. Be advised, hostile stealth chopper inbound. Heads up. Enemy UAV spotted.
Oh, I had a little setback there with the Dualshock. It disabled it. Whose gun is that?
I got shot!
Yeah. Get out here.
Objective parameters failed. I'm bringing you home.
$35 and 3 deaths. Alright, so that's my initial test of this iPad Air. It's pretty nice so far, although it's hard to get used to it compared to using Android. This is the 6th iPad I've actually bought, but the first one I ever used. They're always for my wife and I never touch them.